Welcome back to Comics Off the Top. My name's Adam, and today we're going to be previewing the latest Marvel comic drop on the Veve app, which is Black Panther Volume 3, Issue 1. Black Panther Volume 3 Issue 1 is, as you can pick from the name, the third time the series has had a number 1 issue. In total, the Black Panther title has been rebooted 7 times, with the first being in 1977 and the most recent being in January 2022, which, as of creating this video, is currently only up to issue 3, so if you're keen, it's still very early and easy to jump in. The comic will be dropping with 5 variant covers as usual. They include the common, which is the same cover as the original comic, the uncommon, the rare, the ultra rare, and of course, the secret rare. The rare and ultra rare have been created by Marco Turini, who's been doing some very cool exclusive variant art for Comic Kingdom recently, including this Venom number 1. The mid-size for this drop is going to be $30,000 and will be a $6.99 blind box as per usual. This version of Black Panther number 1 was released in 1998 under the imprint of Marvel Knights, and written by Christopher Priest and illustrated by Mark Terexia. It follows the familiar adventures of King T'Challa as he comes to grips with the reign over Wakanda and relations with the outside world. We are going to be talking about the significance and impact of Marvel Knights soon, but let's look at some of the key first appearances from this comic. As with any number 1 book, we have a few first appearances, and up until a few years ago, none of which were very significant. However, the MCU Black Panther movie that came out in 2018 starring the late wonderful Chadwick Boseman, may he rest in power, was heavily influenced by this version of Black Panther in the book. Black Panther number 1 sees the first appearance of the Dora Milaje, aka Black Panther's elite all-female security force, his love interest of Nakia, his mentor Zuri, and of course the head of the Royal Guard and the breakout star from the film, Okoye. As you can see from these first appearances, the influences from this version of Black Panther was the main inspiration for the cinematic Black Panther world. Now, onto the Marvel Knights element and what I feel is a real significance to this book. Most people don't know or even can fathom a time where Marvel was struggling financially. Well, in fact, struggling would be an understatement. In December 1996, Marvel Comics filed for bankruptcy and was declared as broke. That's right, the money-making juggernaut that it is these days were in danger of losing absolutely everything. The company was losing money at an alarming rate, and worse, their debt that they owed to others was in the millions. Ironically, back then, the biggest debt was actually to Mr. Disney in the range of $1.7 million. While declaring bankruptcy actually ended up paying the debts, they needed to start making money and quickly. So Marvel went with some pretty weird choices to try to generate income. They created a Marvel-themed restaurant, which only lasted a year and did absolutely terribly. Then they tried to release a CD-ROM Marvel trading card game, which even before it was announced, CD-ROM technology was already becoming obsolete. Things looked bleak for the company. Then, a decision that changed the fortune of Marvel forever. Marvel Comics brought in a little indie company called Event Comics. Event Comics was run by Joe Quesada and Jimmy Palmiotti. They were given properties of low-level superheroes that didn't have much direction or even as much popularity compared to the larger heroes like Superman and Captain America. As such, they were given complete and utter free reign over these characters to attempt and revitalize falling sales. The headliner books were Daredevil, the Inhumans, and of course Black Panther, along with Marvel Knights. Now, Marvel Knights actually is the superhero team name that they gave the group of heroes led by Daredevil. The rest of the team included Moon Knight, Black Widow, Luke Cage, Shang-Chi, and Dagger. Event Comics then used their indie connections to bring on independent superstars like Brian Michael Bendis, David W. Mack, Mike Oeming, Garth Ennis, and Steve Dillon. The Marvel Knight comics were dark, gritty, and incorporated more adult concepts that brought the readers back that had grown tired of the kid-like cartoony comics Marvel were producing. The Marvel Knight series became even so popular that they started adding more mainstay Marvel characters like Spider-Man, Captain America, and the Hulk into the Marvel Knights world. With the huge success of Marvel Knights, after 2.5 years, Joe Quesada actually became the editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics when Bob Harras departed from the role. Joe was given the chance due to the wonder that he did revitalizing comic sales. Joe set out by starting making positive decisions like bringing back the Ultimate Universe, which eventually led to the death of Peter Parker and the creation of one of the Marvel's biggest modern characters, Miles Morales, and other decisions that started to right the ship of Marvel. But Quesada's biggest and most successful decision was about to happen. In 2006, after Universal Studio and New Line Cinema both failed to get an Iron Man movie off the ground, Quesada and the other heads of Marvel made one last-ditch effort to save the Marvel brand. They were going to make their own Marvel films. The division of Marvel Studios was created, and they pretty much put the remaining funds of the company into making their first feature film, which was 2008's Iron Man. This was a Hail Mary for Marvel back in the day. It's a film about a B-tier superhero, and if it failed, it would be the end of Marvel Comics. But of course, it didn't fail, which instead launched the Marvel Entertainment Universe, which has made just a gigaton of money, and been able to turn once irrelevant and obscure heroes and characters into household names. So to bring this big long story all the way back to Black Panther #1, without this book and the other Marvel Knight stories, Marvel wouldn't be the worldwide phenomenon that it is today. If they didn't trust little independent creators with their properties, I most certainly wouldn't be sitting here right now talking to you about Marvel Comics today. So the big question as always, should we care about this comic? And the answer is a yes and a no. Yes, the Marvel Knights revitalized the failing company and created gritty, more violent and adult comic books who delighted readers, and we're still seeing the impact of those stories represented in characters and films today. Black Panther #1 also includes a heap of first appearances that, thanks to the MAU, has becoming more and more significant with each movie. The big issue here, while the book is important to the overall world of Marvel, due to being a modern book that was overprinted, you can still nab a copy today without much issue in great condition for about $30 to $40 in a physical copy. And this is the issue with modern comics. The supply of a modern comic is absolutely huge. However, when it comes to the NFT form, supply is definitely a lot less for books such as Black Panther #1. So, to the right audience, this could turn into a really, really great comic book to hold. However, if you're choosing between this and, say, a Silver Age first appearance featuring a very popular character like, I don't know, Falcon or Hawkeye, I can't honestly sit here and tell you to stack Black Panther Volume 3 #1s over much better options that are on the app. But that's enough from me. What do you think? I hope you enjoyed this. I'm really trying to do something different with these videos and give you a bit of historical background and information about the books that you're investing in. I don't want to sit here and tell you whether you should just hold or sell a book. Instead, I want to inform you about what the book is, what the significance of it, and you make your own decision around your investments. But thank you so much for watching this video. If you're enjoying my content, please make sure you like and comment down below for the new channel, or you haven't subscribed yet. I'd love to consider maybe hitting that bell icon and the subscribe button to come along with me on my YouTube journey. I've got plenty more comic related videos to come out in the future, so please make sure you're checking back week to week. But apart from all that, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you're staying safe